Okay, we're alive, so we'll give people a second to find it. It just came from bothering the governor.
The Capitol, huh? Good
At the
day.
Capitol, yeah, he was.
Yeah, and he doesn't care about kids. He cares about guns.
That's right. That's right. All right, we're
Wow.
live, Kai. So let us do the interview.
Okay.
Come on in, everybody. Welcome back to the Holler. I'm Justin. You know that by now. We have haulers all across the state.
Yeah.
Thanks to your support. Really do appreciate that. Memphis, Knoxville, Chattanooga, all over the place. Really appreciate it. Thanks for that chip in if you can. And also support Lisa Parker, who supports us. One way to support us is if you know anybody buying or selling a home, send them to her. Just want to let people know we're going to be posting videos of the experience we just had up at the Capitol bothering the governor about his feckless executive order that really does nothing to protect kids and does nothing about guns. And he did all he could not even to talk about guns at this press conference. So look out for some video of that, and obviously keep the pressure on him and all your reps to do something about that. One of the things people are doing that we always encourage is running for office. And we know a lot of people that are doing this in especially Shelby County. And one of them is here today to talk to us about her race. Her name is Janeen Fullilove Gordon, and she's running for Shelby County Juvenile Court Clerk. Janeen, how are you today?
Hey, Justin, I am wonderful. Thank you so very much for having me. Thank you for going there to the Capitol with your daughter. I can see she is there in the back seat. And, we just have to continue to fight, fight for gun change and legislation. And, I've heard so much over the course of just the past 3 weeks, and we continue to have these mass shootings that, guns don't kill, it's the people behind the guns. But we also still have to continue to do some legislation on the type of guns that some of these criminals are getting their hands on. So I applaud you. Continue to keep your foot on the pedal there, so to speak. And so maybe one day we'll get to a point to where we can go to church, we can go to our grocery stores, we can go to school, send our children to school without fear of them not returning home.
Right, absolutely. And, I see people on here, some of our friends that join us that don't always agree with us about everything, talking about taking away criminals' guns and then we can take away legal ones. And, the bottom line is we should be doing everything we can. And this is a uniquely American problem. I still haven't heard a good reason for why anybody should have an AR-15. And so we shouldn't be putting weapons of war in the hands of civilians. Yes, we should be dealing with criminals, but also more guns does not equal safety. We've seen the gun laws work. And I really hope that the people who are in here parroting these NRA talking points will start to realize that, even Republicans are starting to come around on this stuff. We saw in Texas, some Republican donors took out a full-page ad in the Dallas Morning News calling for gun safety reform. I just talked to officials in this Republican supermajority that don't understand why we need AR-15s. So, your talking points are stale. And, I respect Gapper X and Carlos for coming on here as much as you do. But guns are what sets this country apart. Gun laws work, and we need to do something about it. So anyway, that's my rant for now. Please check out our feeds for videos about today. And then Janeen, so tell us, I guess my first question for you is, what does a juvenile county court clerk do?
Justin, great question, because this is a question that during the primary I was asked repeatedly, and so many people are confused. Shelby County Juvenile Court Clerk's office is an office that is the keeper of the records. That is it. You want to make sure that you still have integrity in that office, that those employees are trained properly, but they just handle the records, the files. Once a judge or a magistrate makes their order, you still have to keep it. But believe it or not, my mother is the current Shelby County Juvenile Court Clerk, and our current clerk is still paper. filing most dockets. Now they are trying to get to a process to where everything will be electronic, but that is a very slow process. My mother implemented what she called 3 phases. And they're in probably phase 2.5 now, but we're in 2022 and we're still looking at paper files. So staff members have taken some on the weekends to where they are going in to scan documents, and they're very important documents into a cloud so that then we could have eventually an area to where we could go and all of the dockets are there. So that is a big priority that I want to continue to see happen as I take office September 1 with many of our voters' help in the general election on August 4th.
And so where are we? You're the Democratic nominee. Is it a partisan race? I mean, I'm assuming.
Correct. I am the Democratic nominee.
What does the race look like, and what stage is it in?
Yeah. So I am the Democratic nominee, winning with 48% of the vote May 3rd, with 3 other people in that race as well. 22,000 plus people put their vote and confidence in me to go on to be their Democratic nominee. I will face a Republican challenger August 4th. And I am ready to face him and win again and be sworn in September 1. I have a plan that will span from 30 days to 60 days to 90 days. In my first 90 days in office, what I plan to do and implement some of the biggest changes that they will see almost immediately. A designated workspace for our attorneys who are handling cases there. Also, some immediate cross-training with all staff members to make sure, everyone is up to speed. Again, with that office, you want to make sure that you continue to maintain integrity. The highest level of customer service, I think, is imperative because they're my Shelby County dollars and my neighbors and my coworkers as well. It's their dollars that will help continue to move juvenile court clerk forward. That's a $4.5 million budget. 85 employees. I want to make sure that we are fully staffed. Currently, there are a little more than 12 open positions that they are looking to fill almost immediately. But with any operation these days, it's been very difficult to find employees, and so that is a big concern as well, that we have to get those positions filled. Otherwise, if we don't fill them, we'll lose them. And I definitely don't want that to happen with we have a new county commission that will begin. So I want to make sure that we are using each and every position that we have granted to us.
I know this probably doesn't have anything really to do with the office, but in general, who does the office interact with? And, do you have an opinion on how quickly Shelby County is sort of locking up juveniles and what's going on with law enforcement in Memphis?
Well, and I can tell you this, we have the juvenile court judge is also up for re-election as well. He has a strong opponent and another judge that they are going to really see who comes out for them. But here's the thing, before my mother got in office about 3.5 years ago, the juvenile court judge and the juvenile court clerk really kind of worked separately. There's no way that should even happen. You need to work with your judge and he needs to work with the clerk. A lot of the programs are under the juvenile court judge. I would like to see some changes to that. Should we bring it over to the clerk's office? That's a question that I can sit down with the judge, whomever that judge may be. If it is the current judge, if it's a newly elected judge, I think we should be able to work cohesively together. It's the synergy of that building, the juvenile court judge and the juvenile court clerk working together to bring about a better system for all. And listen, if we compare ourselves to Davidson County with locking up juveniles, I think Davidson County locked up and transferred juveniles to adult center. There were probably less than 50. Shelby County, there were more than a few hundred. And so that is a big concern for many of us, sending so many of our children to the adult center and system. Should we continue to do that? I think we have to have a judge who is going to look at the law and really be able to designate his opinion or her opinion in that case. And so, again, with the juvenile court clerk and the juvenile court judge working simultaneously together with that synergy, I think we can get a lot of things accomplished. We cannot continue to work separately as two different entities, although many of the employees who are on the judicial side don't have anything to do with the clerk side. So you have to find a way to work together.
I guess I would just love to know, tell us a little bit about yourself. What do you want people in Shelby County to know about you, the person?
Well, first of all, I'm a Memphis girl. I was born and raised in the city. My parents were born and raised here. My mother went to then Memphis State. I graduated from University of Memphis. My mother went on to teach at the University of Memphis in communication. My father graduated from Christian Brothers University. They were married as young 21-year-olds right out of college, and they had this beautiful little girl who has been raised in a home. Although my parents divorced early on, I was raised to be a public servant, and I have done that in my career. I started out in radio, and I gave morning radio listeners in the entertainment and the information they needed to start their day. I left radio and moved into television, where I became the traffic anchor weekday mornings, and then helped WMC Action News 5 create their own lifestyle show called Bluff City Life. And it was about sharing good news. I listen to so many people and speak with so many people and say, listen, I don't watch news because it's too depressing. So Bluff City Life was all about the good things happening in and around the Mid-South. And so I did that. But sometimes, and I'm thankful to the pandemic for this, because I was really able to sit down and reflect to make sure that as a Memphian and Shelby Countyan, I was going to continue to do what was right for everyone in this community. My mother was a former city council member, and she's the current juvenile court clerk. And so again, public service is in my DNA. It's in my bones to make sure that I am doing everything I possibly can for everyone in my community. And I reevaluated what I was doing. It sounds like it's a good life to be on television and have your own show. But what was I doing that could be more impactful for everyone in the community? And for me, that was, as my mother retired, to look to continue her legacy and create my own as the next Shelby County Juvenile Court Clerk. And that's what I did. I resigned from television February 7th. And I have been on the campaign trail since. I am meeting my citizens where they are. We are out on weekends. We attend events. I am on the board for Heal the Hood, which is bringing a very new premise here to our children in the Hickory Hill community. And it is a community that has been plagued by violence, gun violence with some of them. And we are bringing a new art center and theater to where it will be their safe haven to go, but it will also be a place to where they can be creative, and they will have those members of the community who can come to them and speak. So I'm very proud of that. We have Nike on board, and we have so many other organizations that are happy to be a part of it, because it is something that we are doing for all young people, especially our Black and Brown children here in the Hickory Hill community and beyond. So I'm proud to be a part of that board. And I am also a member of Choices. I'm also a mentor to many of our young girls there in Cordova. So I'm honored to be on the board of Heal the Hood and continuing to look to our young people and give them some type of inspiration. Because I think that's what they need these days. They need to know that they can make a difference regardless of where they start, regardless of where their surroundings or what their surroundings look like and what they go home to. But then I think at the end of the day, I would hope that some of our legislators can look at the broken family unit. That's not something that we legislate, but it's also something as elected officials that I think we should look at, the broken family unit, with so many of these young people using guns and thinking that's the way that they can handle an argument, and some adults as well. I hope that answered your question. I know it's a little long.
I lost you there for a second. I start talking about guns to. No, I think that's great. Sorry, I got bounced off because I'm out in the field here.
Okay.
But I appreciate it. I'm glad you have a chance to talk to people about, I know there are people who are mentioning that they miss seeing you on their TVs. And I
Oh,
think it's
okay.
really cool that you're going from that to figuring out how you can help the community also. Um, I wish you luck. Obviously, what do you want people to know about your race, and just have some final thoughts about, what people can expect from you once you get in there, as far as,
Yeah.
how you'll communicate with the public.
Well, here's the thing. As I move forward, they will continue to see me out and about. They saw me when I was working in television and radio. I was always out and about in the community, regardless of where I was. I was approachable. And I want them to know that that will not change. If they need me and I'm available, I'm going to try to be there. As I move to the general election, August 4th, early voting will begin here July 15th. And I will be out at the polls. I will be out canvassing, and you will continue to see me at the grocery store. You will continue to see me picking up pet supplies. But wherever I am, just know that I'm approachable. My office in the first 100 days, I have an amazing plan I think I've put together to really make sure I have the right people in place on the executive team. And I do some retraining with all staff members to make sure that they are trained properly. Because at the end of the day, the taxpayer dollars are being spent well. And that's what I want people to remember, that integrity, the efficiency that I'll maintain as well. And also the highest level of customer service that I can make sure my staff is providing, because they will be a reflection of me. That designated space for our attorneys, and a look at child support collection payments. There's a new kiosk that should be in place very soon, where those members of our community can pay 24/7. And so that is going into place. I want to continue to make sure juvenile court is electronic by 2023. That is a priority of mine as well. And so I just thank you for this opportunity. I thank everyone who joined, and I'm looking forward to being the next Shelby County Juvenile Court clerk behind my mother, the current clerk, and hoping to be sworn in September 1 with the help of every voter here in Memphis and Shelby County.
Awesome. Well, good luck to you, Janeen. Thanks for coming on here and talking to us. We'll be checking out the race for sure. Everybody who's watching here, make sure to spread the word and go check out
JaneenGordon.com for more information. JaneenGordon.com.
All right, perfect. Thanks so much, Janeen. Appreciate
it.
All
right,
it.
Thank you, Justin. Have a great one.
All right, take care.
Bye-bye.
You too. Bye-bye. All right, so that was Janeen Gordon. I'm not going to get too far into the gun thing here. We can do a whole other live stream about that. Appreciate you guys jumping on here. I will say, just to Gapper and Carlos, obviously you guys are, I appreciate you being on here as always. I see you saying a lot of the same things that we hear about guns, about trying to take all the guns, and it's not the guns. And, there's just some inescapable, irrefutable facts. Gun laws, where they're stronger, there's less deaths per capita. We have 5 of the most deadly cities in the entire country here in Tennessee. It's obviously a uniquely American problem, and we don't have more mental health issues in America. We don't have more video games. We have more guns. And, the thing, even if you don't believe that, AR-15s are the issue or whatever, it just seems to me that we should be doing everything we can to keep any kid safe. Like, I go back to the same thing, when it was during COVID. It's like anything that can save a life, we should try. Yes, sure, let's invest in mental health. Fine. That means expanding Medicaid. If you don't want to expand Medicaid, you don't care about mental health. So stop saying that bullshit, because Medicaid is funding in large part these mental health programs. So if you don't want to take $1 billion a year that's on the table for expanding Medicaid here, you don't care about mental health. And then as far as strengthening schools, like, okay, yes, let's have an SRO in schools, but, we can't strengthen everywhere. We're not going to have, playgrounds with metal detectors. No, what sets us apart as a country is we put weapons of war in the hands of anybody who wants one. We lower the age. We make it easy to get a gun. We don't have, a complete background check system. Our red flag laws are not strong. Like, this is just obvious now. And your talking points are falling more and more on deaf ears. And honestly, they're deadly. And so, I get that you're afraid that we're coming for your guns. Trust me, like, I'm pretty plugged in Democratic circles in terms of politics, and nobody I know is saying we need to get all the guns and take them away and steal all their guns and not have guns anymore. You're just wrong, Gapper. They are weapons of war. They are used in the military. Ask any Marine, ask any soldier. They are used in the military. So, we're tired of these talking points. They're not working anymore, and we do need to do something about it. Yes, all guns are deadly. So that's even more of a reason not to let them be in the hands of domestic abuse perpetrators, not to be in the hands of violent people, and not to hand ones that are even extra deadly out to people who may or may not do this thing. Let's have waiting periods. Let's raise the age. There's all kinds of things we can do that we know work. So, Carlos, Gapper, respect you for jumping on here. Completely disagree with you. And so does most of the country. And it's time to fix this. Have a great day.